So once you get through all of those things, do you find that the military has better pay than the teaching that you have left?
Fundamentally. Fundamentally.
Yeah. Meet Major Boke, CEO and founder of Jeff Hamilton. We talk about his experience in the army and the most difficult thing he had to do during his recruitment.
They will request non-swimmers to jump from the Olympic height onto the deep end of the swimming pool. Non-swimmers. If you're a swimmer, then it's really not important because you can swim.
Yes.
So like for me, I was a non-swimmer then.
So what happened when you landed in the water?
They say that you die after 6 or 7 minutes of drowning. So they'll save you maybe on the 5th or so minute.
He talked to us about his transition and his time then at KICC and how the management team managed to turn KICC's fortunes around.
I worked there up to around 2010. Philip Kisia was the CEO then. So we grew the center from like a 30 million annual revenue to, by the time I'm leaving, maybe a 700 million annual revenue.
Find out why his security firm is called Jeff Hamilton.
So Jeff is my son.
Yes.
I think he's the one who was engaging here.
Yeah.
And he works as my executive assistant. And Hamilton was to make it look posh. We had a choice to call it Jeff Kitangita, and you will not buy it.
And how he almost paid a Caucasian man once to present as a CEO for a meeting.
And it's not like they wanted to interview a comedian.
They say that to you?
Yes, we need the honor. And the faster we get through this, the better. You know, we can't be... They were very cross. Clearly, there were no directors. So the only thing we could do is to hire a white guy to tell him to appear. Because that is the only option we had. Actually talked to a white guy.
Yeah.
And he agreed. I was paying him 25,000 for appearance.
He also tells us just how much money they made last year.
So last year is 2025. We missed $1 billion by 12 million.
And how he plans to leave his younger son in charge of this 1 billion shilling revenue business.
When I turn 55, I'm transiting to chairman. So it means we are preparing Jeff to take over in the next 2 years. He's the oldest staff outside my wife because he joined the business, I think, when he was in class 6.
This is a money story about grit and faith. Hey everybody, welcome back to Financially Incorrect. Happy Friday. I hope you're making great money decisions this Friday. If this Friday, because I never know the schedule within which the episodes are going out, if it's at the end of the month, make sure you don't finish all your money. If it's at like mid-month, just keep going. It's almost over. You should get more money soon. Quick, what do I call it? Announcements. This podcast, of course, proudly sponsored by FXpesa. If you'd like to get access to the world of trading, FXpesa is a perfect partner for you. There'll be a QR code that will come across the screen at some point. Scan that, you land in the FXpesa world. If not, you want to prefer more direct, quicker access, check the link in the description box. You can click on that link, get to the FXpesa world, and learn everything that you can about FXpesa. They'll give you training, you can demo trade, and then actually get live. The second link that's in the description box is for Financially Incorrect. If you'd like to recommend a guest, in fact, the guest that we have today was recommended from that platform, so we do see the recommendations and we do take them. Recommend a guest if you'd like, or if you just want to give us feedback, what you like, what we're doing. If we don't like what you're doing, just give us as content. And also, the day that we're recording this, Arsenal has just won the league. So it should be a public holiday. That's just from me to you guys. Anyway, our guest for today is Major. He is a Major. So Major Boke, who is the co-founder and CEO of Jeff Hamilton Limited. Strategic leader, he's a military veteran, he's a corporate governance expert, and most importantly, he's an entrepreneur. Welcome on to Financially Incorrect.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much, Barry.
Looking forward to having this conversation.
Me too.
I haven't had, when I was prepping for this, I was like, I have never heard anybody from the military who has sat here. So I'm really curious to get into that. I also haven't had anyone from, now you're an entrepreneur, but anyone who has worked in security here as well. So I'm really curious to hear about that industry and how it works. So really get into it. But before I get into your story, my first question for you, non-money related, what's the most difficult thing you've ever done?
The most difficult thing I've ever done, I would say was quitting the military.
Okay.
Because I think my family and my parents believed that the military is such a good thing. And everyone around me thought that that was like a jackpot. Because I was a military major at the Air Force. And by then, it looked like a very prestigious job. I still think it is. So quitting had a lot of people to convince. And looking back, I think that was a very difficult decision. Not because it was not difficult for me personally, but for people around me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, I always thought that because we used to drive past on that Mbagadi Avenue. We used to drive past the base that's there, and for some reason, I always thought I wanted to be in the army, and then I told my mom, and that ended there. She said,
She didn't want you to join.
no, I said no.
It's a good job.
I was also very, very young. I was
Okay.
also very, very young. I must have been like a toddler, but I was very. I guess I was impressed by what I thought, how the army worked and the structure and everything about it. It seemed very cool to me. And I had an uncle who, I can't remember what his rank was, but I know that he had a gun and he had military gear.
Yes.
And for some reason I just took to it. Yeah. So
I think it's a good place.
yeah.
Especially for the young people, the young adults, to start because of the structure around it. I think it grows people. Like for me, I would say it really worked on my discipline and my self-belief and how I look at the world and the person I become, the confidence. So it's a good place.
Yeah.
But you can still achieve that even without the military. Yeah, it's not a must that you must get it from the military.
Yeah.
But the military has it very perfected. Yeah.
That maybe if I'm to center that question, even of most difficult thing to this conversation, what's the most difficult thing in the military, specifically maybe more physical, that you did while you were either on your way there or while you were there?
I think the military has a number of things I would call difficult exercises, because the intention of the military is that, I think the object is to convert a civilian to a military officer. And at the core of that is confidence and discipline. So on the confidence side, I would cite maybe 2 or 3 things that we did that I would think they really worked on my confidence. One is they would request non-swimmers to jump from the Olympic height onto the deep end of the swimming pool. Non-swimmers. If you're a swimmer, then it's really not important because you can swim.
Yes.
So like for me, I was a non-swimmer then. And I thought that was really tough, because then they take you all the way up and you jump into the pool. And they celebrate you and they clap for you.
So what happened when you landed in the water?
They say that you die after 6 or 7 minutes of drowning. So they'll save you maybe on the 5th or so minute. So you see, they have amazing medical teams.
Yeah.
So they're all around there, just waiting
to see whether you
whether you'll survive. Yeah, because the object is, it's not so important whether you can swim.
Yeah.
What is important is that you can float, and also just the confidence that I don't know this thing, but I'm willing to plunge into it. So that was one. Then the second one on confidence, they call it the solo night. So the solo night, they blindfold you, take you to like a forest or somewhere. We did this in Amboseli, at the Amboseli National Park. Then they take out the blind somewhere you don't know, surrounded by trees, and they tell you that we have the pin to this place, so please don't move from this place, because if you move, then we'll not find you. Then you spend the night there. They give you an apple and a carrot, and you stay there for the night, and there's no one around you, so it's up to you to survive the night there. So that also was pretty intense for me. And lastly, there's what they call the battle simulation. So battle simulation is where they take you to a lager, a dry river, and then they have machine guns across, and they shoot, and you crawl down through
live
ammo. There's a height you need to keep, so you can't like. You get the point. Yes. So I think it's very good for confidence. But you see, I think confidence and discipline are very intertwined, because you can see that for those 3 things, you must also be very disciplined.
Yeah.
So I think those will be my 3 takeouts.
more takeouts.
In addition to now waking up early, sleeping late, having a morning run every morning, which are very routine, I think those 3 for me really stick out.
Okay. This is really fascinating for me on a personal level. Like I told you, this is a path I thought I wanted to take on as a kid. So I just have one more question on this. Like what's a fact that you have about what a Kenyan, because we see, you know how they say like the CIA has like a what do you call it, a movies budget, and they fund movies that sort of help the agenda of making the American security system seeming much bigger and very huge, and I don't know that we see enough of the Kenyan military in that sort of way, in a way where we're like, they need to be revered, and like we have really cool stuff, and our you hear about who are these guys, the Marines, and there's all these Netflix series and things about those. So I'm curious, what's like a surprising fact for me as a civilian about how strong or how good some of our military personnel are or could be that you might be able to share?
So number one, I think the Kenya military does not augment their capacity, if I'm to say like the US. I think the US has this make-believe type of approach. And I think they are interested because they're a superpower and they make a lot of money by being superpower. So they get into deals which they've not contributed about. Maybe you have minerals in Congo, you have oil in the Gulf or in Venezuela. And their posture as a powerful army makes them sign deals that work for them. So I think it is in their interest they do that. So that budget comes back.
Yeah.
Kenya doesn't do a lot of that. I think Kenya is, if I was to rank the Kenya military in Africa, first I would say, the military is a representation of the economy. So the bigger the economy, the stronger the military. So it's impossible that a poor country will have a more stronger economy, because when you go to war, it's expenditure every day. You're firing missiles, you're losing personnel, you're losing equipment. So it's how fast your economy can replace that. So to that context, Kenya is the 6th largest economy in Africa. So if you are to assume everything else, then you'll say that we are the 6th largest, we are the 6th most strongest army in Africa. But for me, I will take where they've participated, especially in Somali. Remember, before we went to Somali, it was really a bad scenario because the Al-Shabaab will come to Nairobi. We had a lot of attacks in Nairobi, quite many, actually very many documented. Until they came to Lamu and took up that tourists, which made us now move to Somali. And you can see they've done a very good job in Somali. Remember, America left Somali. They went into Somali and they left because they couldn't just cope. But the military has been there all along. And if you look at where our army has participated, they've done an amazing job. So there's a sense of a lot of discipline, a lot of capacity. So just to answer your question, yes, I think they are stronger than they position.
Stronger than I'd imagine.
Yeah, they're stronger than imagine. In terms of the equipment, I don't know if you're aware that we make our bullets in Eldoret.
Yes, that
bit you know.
That I knew. Yeah.
That bit you know.
Yeah.
We have a very functional Air Force now.
Yeah.
Our army is pretty big. And even in terms of the budget to the army, it's pretty big. But for me, I would say they are training. There's a lot of investment in training. And sometimes I call the Kenya military basically a university. They're permanently training. Yeah, so they are pretty strong.
Okay. I definitely have a lot more context. Let's get into your money story now.
Yes.
Where does your money story begin? What's your fundamental understanding of money? Where is it based on? What kind of family did you grow up in? Yeah.
So I grew up in Kisumu in a sugar company called Miwani. Miwani is one of the oldest sugar companies in Kenya. I think with Ramisi. Ramisi is in the coast. So Miwani was owned then by a family called the Hindochas. The Hindochas is an Indian family. And so that's where I grew up. I was brought up by my dad. I stayed with my dad. My mom stayed up country. And in Miwani, the neighborhood you stayed in was dependent on your race. So the Indian stayed in the posh estates, and the black stayed in the not so posh estates. But if you are a successful black guy, like you are a manager or you had come from school like Egerton College those days and you're employed, then you'll stay in the Indian neighborhoods. So from a very young age, I picked that there's the way money gives you comfort, and I think it's something you need to look out for. And I think that also was reinforced when I went to high school. So the school I went to, there were those kids who came from slightly better backgrounds and those who did not come from very good backgrounds. So then you could see the comfort that money afforded them. In KU, I did my undergrad in Kenyatta University, and I think it was more reinforced, the haves and the have-nots. It was really evident. So I would say my money philosophy then starts from the point that money can give you comfort. And I think I've carried out that throughout my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you start making money for yourself? When's the first time you touch your own money that you've made?
So that is after I finished Form 4. So I finished Form 4 in 1991. So we were the third 844 lot. And my dad worked as a plant mechanic at Miwani. So when I finished, I requested him to get me a job at the factory, and he lobbied, and I was employed as a spanner boy because he was a plant mechanic. So I will be the one carrying the toolbox. He will ask me, give me this spanner, I will give him. So that's my first contact with money. So that is in 1992. That's when I get in touch with money.
How much are you being paid, and what are you doing with that money at that point?
At this point, I'm being paid 35 shillings a day.
35 a day.
35 shillings a day, and we are being paid weekly. So on Saturday, you go to the cash office and they pay you. I think it was coming to around 200 and something per week.
Yeah.
So my imagination is that then I will afford a few luxuries that I didn't have, like buying shoes from Bata. Bata was a big thing then. The posh people bought shoes from Bata.
Yeah.
But my dad had different ideas. So my dad comes and tells me, now, look, son, you are working. So we need to share this budget thing, and he allocates me certain things that I need to meet in the house. It was very fair because that took like maybe 30% of what I earned. So I still kept the money. Yeah, and most of my money was just to buy the things I wanted, mainly clothes, shoes, and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
After KU, what then do you decide to do for yourself in terms of how you want to make money? What's the next thing that you do?
So then I joined KU. I did physics, mathematics as education. So essentially I was studying to be a teacher. So those days you used to have long holidays because then you studied 2 semesters, then you close, and 2 semesters will take like 6 months. So 6 months you are not in school. I predominantly then worked as a teacher in high schools across in KICC and in Korea. So it was not a lot of money that I earned. I think I used to earn around 1,900 at the lowest to maybe 3,500. The school that paid me most paid me 3,500. So that's between 1993 now up to around 1997. So most of this money ended up, because my mom stayed up country, so it ended up subsidizing expenses in the house at up country, because my dad was in Kisumu.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where the bulk of the money went.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what that sort of period looks like. Once you're done with KU, do you go into teaching? Do you now continue, or do you continue teaching now, as a bona fide teacher with a degree and everything?
No. At the point I'm teaching while in campus, I fall out of love with teaching. I'm actually in love with teaching, but I'm not very much in love with how much they're compensating.
Fair enough.
I felt that it was, I didn't find it commensurate, the effort of 4 years in campus and the salary that they were offering.
What was the projected salary for a teacher?
I think the project salary by then was 17,000
per month.
Before tax. So when they tax it, you remain with some little money, but it will not afford you any much comfort then. So as I graduate, I finished KU around May 1997, and I go back to the same school that I was employed as a BOM teacher. So I remain on BOM, and then I hear that the military is recruiting. So it was an accident. So I was going to school. Yeah. It was a Wednesday, I can remember. And I saw a lot of young people going to the town. The town is called Kihancha. It's in Korea. So I asked them, what's up? And they tell me, oh, you've not heard? The military is recruiting today. So that looked like a license for me to exit the village. So I rushed back home, took my certificates, and rushed to Kihancha. Yeah.
Is it true that when you're getting recruited for the military, first of all, they look at your body to ensure you don't have any scars?
Yes.
And then is there like is it a 400-meter dash or is it 800-meter that you have to do within a certain time?
Yes. So I think the physical fitness is important because of the role of the military.
Right.
Clearly, you can't take sicklings and people who are not fit to go and fight for your nation.
Right.
I think you'll be a sick nation to do that.
Yes.
So they do that. So for us, I didn't make the cut for the running. There was that running thing.
What is the time?
So no, they picked up in a truck.
Yeah.
Drove some distance. In my head, it must have been maybe like 10 kilometers. And then now they drop you and tell you, now let's run back to the stadium. Clearly, there's no way I would. There are some crazy guys who run like their life depends on it.
Right.
So I think I was like number 38 on the cadet. So there's the cadet and the soldiers. So I was on the cadet side. So I was number 38 on the cadet side. So they took, I think, the top 20 because they were looking for one cadet in the Air Force and one cadet in the Army. They're only recruiting 2 people from where we are being recruited from. So all the graduates were locked out. You know, the graduates are slightly older because the cutoff age, the age is 18 to 26. So you have guys who are 19 who they take off. You're like, hey guys, be fair. So then the graduates, we gathered and we started demonstrating and saying, Haki ye tu. How can it be that we are graduates and you're not giving us an opportunity? This is not fair. And we made a fuss. And the guy, the officer who was in charge, I later came to know, he was called Major Mora, gave approval that any graduate who was on top 40 to go in. So that's how we went in.
Yes. Tell me the difference between the soldier and cadet.
So the soldier and cadet. So the soldier is like the worker. The cadet is like the manager. So the soldier is recruited as a recruit. And they go to the recruit training school in Eldoret. Then the cadet is recruited, the officer is recruited as a cadet. And they go to the cadet training school at Lanet in Nakuru. Now the soldier, the most senior soldier is junior to the most junior officer. So just to give you clarity, so the soldiers will start as a recruit, then they will pass out and start as a private. They become a senior private, a lance corporal, a corporal, a sergeant, senior sergeant, a warrant officer class 2, and then a warrant officer class 1. That's the most senior. But the time you're working as a warrant officer, you've served for more than 30 years.
Okay.
Then the cadet, you'll commission, recruits pass out.
Okay.
Cadets commission. So when you commission, you start as a second lieutenant, a lieutenant, a captain, a major. That's the rank I was. A lieutenant colonel. So a lieutenant colonel is like the person in charge of Langata barracks.
Right.
A full colonel, a brigadier, a major general. So like the Air Force commander is a major general, and so is the Navy commander. Then a lieutenant general. That's a 3-star general. So lieutenant general is the deputy chief of defense forces and the army commander, because the army is big.
Yes.
Then you go to the general. There's only one general.
Yes.
Yeah, the 4-star general.
Okay.
So those are the rankings.
And so you're saying the highest...
The warrant officer class 1, that's the highest soldier, is junior to a second lieutenant who was commissioned today.
And that's after 30 years of work.
Yes.
That's wild. Okay. Okay.
So it's just the way you join KICC and you're a manager, and there are guys who've worked there for a while.
Too bad.
The manager is senior.
Yeah. Okay. So when you now, I guess you've told us some of the training that you go through to get the discipline going already.
Yes.
So once you get through all of those things, do you find that the military has better pay than the teaching that you have left?
Fundamentally. Fundamentally.
Yeah.
So remember, okay, the starting pay was not fundamental because I would have started at 17K as a graduate teacher. But in the military, I started at 24K. But you see, there's quite a big difference because the military, you get promoted. You change ranks because within 9 years, I'd moved from second lieutenant to major. And there are fundamental wage differences between the ranks.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. And also the military has a lot of privileges, a lot of trainings. You buy things from the by then it was called AFCO.
Which is is it the VAT that you're
Yes, the
exempt from?
VAT, VAT is exempted. Then they have very good systems around making it easy for you to progress in life as opposed to teaching. The medical cover is free. They have amazing hospitals. So there's no sickness that you'll get that they're not able to treat. So they cushion you. You can stay in the barracks. They have amazing houses. So you see, in as much as the difference was not that much, but the worlds are completely different. But then I'm a second lieutenant in 2000. I'm a major in 2004. So 4 years later, I'm a major. And the salary grew fundamentally after that.
Yeah.
So you cannot compare the compensations. They are completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you begin to do with your money, I guess, once you start making this fundamental money? How are you spending your money? What are your priorities?
So at this point, like a good African son, I'm paying school fees for a few of my brothers. But also, I joined the SACCO. So by then, the military didn't have Ulinzi SACCO. We used to be under the Harambee SACCO, the one on Uhuru Highway. So I'm saving a lot of money at Harambee SACCO. And I remember in 2000, I take a loan and buy a bed.
To buy a bed?
This is sad.
What kind of bed?
It was a big bed.
Why would you take a loan?
I think I'd not slept so much in the school, in the military school.
Yeah.
I think I wanted to revenge on this sleeping thing.
Yeah.
So I was taking this sleeping very seriously. So there used to be a guy near Pangani Girls. Because by then I was based at Moi Air Base on Juja Road. So there was a guy near Pangani who used to sell very expensive beds those days. And just to give you context, because I was earning, I think, 23 gross. By then the military was not paying a lot of taxes. And this bed, I must have bought it at around 27. So it was my entire salary.
Yeah.
And then there used to be those things called high density mattresses.
Yes.
So I bought that. And I think a few things in the house. There used to be Nakumat checkpoint on Kenyatta Avenue. I went there and bought some chairs. So just like a few things to pimp the house.
Right.
So most of my money at this point, I'm saving at Harambee SACCO. I'm paying some school fees for my siblings. I'm supporting my mom because my dad is still employed. And just meeting my lifestyle. Yeah, because I'm still young also at this point.
Okay.
So I'm also just chopping my money.
As it comes. Tell me, what's a typical, for what you can share, I would assume some things, of course, need to be kept confidential, but for what you can share, what's the average day for someone in the military at your level, whether it's at the major level or any of the other two as you're working up? What is it like? What is it like?
So actually, this is a question I like to answer because there's a lot of misconception on what the military does.
Yes.
Because most people
most
people are like, you guys, okay, assuming there's no Somali, even if it's there, it's a part of you that is there. If you're supporting Congo, it's a part of you that is there. This 90% who are here, what do you do? So let me talk for the Kenya AirForce. But it applies for even the others. So Kenya AirForce is like Kenya Airways, only that it does not charge for its services. So it has a fleet of aircrafts, just like the Kenya Airways. It flies people. So it has a VIP, what they call a VIP squadron, which flies the VIP. So VIP is the president. There's a dedicated aircraft for the president. Then,
this is how Americanized we are.
Yes.
It's like the Air Force One.
It's also called Air Force One.
Okay, that's fine.
So the president has like maybe 2-3 aircrafts dedicated to him. I know the president moves a lot. You might not know, but the president moves a lot. I think what the public gets to see are the international ones. But even locally, the president moves a lot. Then you have a whole range of ministers and top government people that needs to be moved. So there's a VIP wing of the Air Force. Then there's now what they call the transport wing, which moves the troops. You know, the military, now the Kenya Army, the Kenya Navy, and the Air Force themselves, they need to move between locations. So there's a whole wing that just does that. Then they have people on emergency rescue operations. So we have helicopters just that do that. Then they have the fighter aircrafts that now go to war. So we have we have pilots that operate those aircrafts. Then this equipment, they fail. So they have to be maintained. There's a maintenance schedule. So we have technicians, we have engineers. Like me, I was in engineering. So every day there's an equipment or an aircraft that is not working and it has to be fixed. So when you go to work, you're going to fix an aircraft. There's no day when there's no aircraft that is being fixed. And I don't think there will be like a week when there's no flight. So the pilots are flying, the engineers are repairing aircrafts. Then we have trainers. You have to train the engineers. There's the Defense Technical Training College. There's a flying school. So we have instructors who are permanently training these new people because some are retiring.
Right.
So there's someone named is a trainer. Then all these people, we have someone who has to process their payroll. So there's an accountant. There's an HR department. They are permanently doing payroll just like everyone else in Kenya is. Then there's a hostel. There are doctors, consultant doctors. There are nurses. Every day he wakes up, he goes to the hostel to treat people. People are permanently sick. We have stores. We have guys who work in the warehouses. They import equipment. They issue equipment to the technical wing to repair aircrafts. So those guys are there. Then we have guys who do the facilities. They are cleaning the washrooms. They are cutting the base. They are maintaining the pool. So on a typical day, you are doing your typical job. So me, I used to wake up every day, go to the hangar, and manage repair of aircrafts. And there's no day we're not repairing an aircraft. So the only difference is, instead of you paying a ticket to fly the Air Force, the government allocates money. But there's no difference between the Air Force and KQ.
Okay. Yes. That's so. Maybe more of a funny question. The same way that we walk through security, do you guys also walk through security? If it works the exact same way as KQ,
when
you're getting onto the planes.
Or when you are flying.
Yeah, because I'm assuming the same way you said it works exactly the same way like KQ.
No.
You guys just walk in.
You just walk in.
Okay.
Yeah, because they know you.
Yeah.
They know this Major Boke, this barrack. They know.
So that one is done.
And by the time you are getting to the airdrome, or what you can call the airport, already you've been checked at the gate. There are quite a number of security checks. So even if you're not a military person, by the time you get to the plane, you're a good guy.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so we've understood a little bit about your work. Then, please, because you talk about now managing repair, so do you get through an engineering qualification or training when you're at the military?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I studied physics. I majored in physics. So when I get to the Air Force, they took me through what they call an aircraft maintenance officer's course. So it's a technical course, but focusing a lot on the management side of it. Because again, the repair of aircraft is very regulated. There are manuals to the dot. Right. But like the technicians are completely aeronautical engineering trained, higher diploma. But also had colleagues in management who are complete engineers. They studied engineering before they joined the army. Yeah. So there's very good training.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then, are you like on a specific, is everyone on a specific track? For example, was it possible for you to end up at the highest possible rank in the army? Or do people get on specific tracks? So there's like a glass ceiling for, depending on where you came in or what kind of what you're doing?
Yes and no. So that will invite me to give you. So there are three types of military officers, because the people who then get to the top are the military officers. At this point, you've realized that the soldiers are out of this conversation.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Yes. But the military has created a type of officer called a special duty officer, which allows the soldiers to become officers. So if you're very exceptional, then you'll be commissioned under something called a special duty officer. But as to how far you can go, it is regulated. So you can probably go up to a lieutenant colonel, because again, already you've served as a soldier. By the time you're becoming an officer, already your age also is not on your side.
Right.
So that is one type of the officer.
Okay.
The second type of officer is called a specialist officer. So this guy is a doctor, he's a lawyer, and we want his skills. So we are hiring you for your skill. We don't want you to go to war. We want you to treat our people. We want you to help us. Maybe it's an engineer or a pathologist or something like that. So again, as to how far they can go is also regulated. We are together.
I get you.
Now, the people then, so the last type of officer is called a combatant officer or a general service officer. Now, that is the type of officer I was. So when you join as a general service officer, it's like you are foregoing your qualifications. So if you're a lawyer, don't tell us you're a lawyer.
We don't care.
No, we don't care. You came in as a general service officer. So academically speaking, any general service officer can go to the highest level. Yes.
That'll just now depend on work.
It depends on
Assignments.
it depends on a lot of things. So it depends on the politics of the day.
Like any other work.
It's where do you come from in this country? There's a lot of things. It's a lot of dynamics.
Right.
But yes.
But technically speaking,
everything is constant. You can go to the highest level.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Makes sense.
Yes.
So before we leave the army, the sort of your actually, how long do you work? How long you're in the military for 10 years?
Yes, including my training. 10 years.
Training. Okay.
Yes.
If for someone who might be considering, for example, going in the army or just curious about how the army works, and I'm curious, what are the kind of salary ranges that people would expect as you're going up the rank? And are they actually available? Are they like a public document?
They're available.
Yeah.
They're public documents.
Yeah.
So I left in 2006. That's when I resigned. By then, a major, which you can see is a fairly senior guy,
Yes.
was on 73K gross. I might not have the exact figures now,
Yeah.
but a lieutenant, give or take, should be around 160 thereabout. So methinks, not very sure, I've not checked, but a major could possibly be on 250 now. Maybe a full colonel could be on 400 now. Maybe a major general could be on maybe a million or thereabout.
Yeah.
And maybe the chief of defense forces could be maybe 1.5 thereabout.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the lowest officer, give or take, could be working from shy of 200 to the highest general, maybe shy of 1.5 thereabout. So that's where they play. The soldiers could be maybe a private, maybe ranging 50 thereabout. And maybe the warrant officer. The warrant officer normally overlaps with a lieutenant, so it could be around 160 thereabout.
Thereabout.
Yeah.
Thereabout. Okay.
So the pay is not bad.
Okay. Then actually, maybe the other thing is these benefits, like the VAT exempt, that kind of things. How much like would you save? Or how much extra are you benefiting from these benefits that the military is giving you? Does it make that much of a difference to your pocket when you're comparing with your friends who are not in the military?
I think so. I think it makes some difference, but also it depends on your lifestyle. But I think because like in the military, if you go to an operational area, so an operational area is like maybe you are in Somali or you are in Northeastern or a place that is considered not a family posting, then you are provided food and accommodation. And you'll find that from time to time you are on such things, or you are on training, or you've traveled abroad. So there are a lot of opportunities to save money. And also when you are in camp, so long as you are very conscious, because again, also the military comes with the life, you are all of you together. So there's a way also, there's propensity to spend unnecessarily. Yeah. So, but you make some savings.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm seeing you have a ring on your finger, so I'm assuming you're married.
Yes, I am.
At what point do you get married in this period when you're in the military?
So I joined them. So I commissioned in 1999.
Yeah.
I was in military school for 2 years.
Yeah.
So one of those evenings, I'd gone dancing at
As
F2
one must.
at Florida 2000.
Yes.
That was on the Christmas Eve, 1999. I was a very fresh, strong, young lieutenant, and things were happening.
Yeah.
So I go to Florida 2000 on Moy Avenue, and on the dance floor, I meet this girl on the dance floor who seems to get her steps right. She looks very pretty, very interesting, very tall, very dark, very beautiful. Yeah, so I make my moves, and we move in together, I'll say, in a few weeks.
In a few weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
And she is my wife to date.
That's good. Are there any reservations from her about you being in the army?
No. Actually, she didn't mind. I think she struggled with my community or my tribe. I think in 1999, Kenya has really metamorphosized. But in 1999, tribe was a big thing in this city. So I think she'd never heard of a tribe called the Kuria. And she did a background search, and she was told that Kurias eat people. So, so she came and told me, do you guys eat people? And I told her, I've also heard.
But you've not experienced.
I've never seen my family eat people. But I've also heard that I think there used to be a story like that. So no, she didn't have a problem with me being a military officer. Just once. I think she liked it.
Yeah. Okay. So by the time you're quitting, you're leaving the military after 10 years, financially, where are you at? What have you done with your money over that 10 years? What have you accumulated? Where have you invested?
So I end up so in 2000 we moved in together. What you could say we got married.
Yes.
There was nothing official about it, but yes, we moved in, and so if you ask me, we got married.
Yes.
So then I'm posted to Nanyuki. There's a base in Nanyuki called Laikipia Air Base. So I go to Laikipia Air Base, and we stay in a neighborhood. There's a neighborhood in Nanyuki called Muthaiga. It's a very posh neighborhood. And
like the same way this one is posh.
Yes, the same way this one is posh. Even that one is pretty posh. And we decided to open a business because now my wife is a beautician. And so she stopped working in Nairobi to join me in Nanyuki. So we agreed to open a business, a beauty business for her called the Pursuit Point in Nanyuki. And her clientele, we meet some of our clientele who are pretty young, and already they had like built homes in Muthaiga because we are staying in Muthaiga and they're our neighbors. So they've built not very posh houses, but you can see the intent is there.
Yes.
And they become our friends. So we then make a decision that we need to build our own house. However bad this house was not important. So we buy land in Utawala in 2002. That's 2 years after my employment. 100,000, I remember. And we put up a Mabati house. As in the wall is Mabati, the roof is Mabati. And we move in 2002 because then I get a posting back to the city. And our finances improve fundamentally because we were not paying power. There was no power.
Those are two different statements. We were not paying power and there's no power.
There's no power because the Kenya Power did not have power there. So we had solar. There was no water. I used to get water from the military. So we are not paying for water. We are not paying for power. We are not paying rent. And our finances grow exponentially. So much so that in another 2 years, we were able to buy land in Syokimau. Because now, with 2 years, we had already made up our mind, we need to move out of this place.
Right. And for 2 years, you live in this Mabati house?
We live in this Mabati house.
Okay.
We live in this Mabati house. We didn't have a lot of neighbors. Actually, a number of my friends said, I think this guy is crazy. I think this guy is not normal. I think we need to check whether he's sane enough to be a military officer. But the bulk of my money at this point, because of the influence we've had in Nanyuki, is going a lot towards putting up a decent house. So we are doing a lot of savings through the SACCO again. The bulk of my saving was through the SACCO. And I'm still supporting a lot in the family.
Yes.
And a chunk of my money also paying the loans I'm taking to finance these things that I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's where the bulk of my money is going.
So you build you buy the property in Syokimau.
Yes.
You begin to build immediately.
Yes.
Okay.
So we dispose. We start having funny neighbors who are building not very appealing structures. Ours is not appealing, but these guys are building. They're not so much appealing.
Yeah.
So we make a decision to sell it. And we buy in Syokimau and we start building. I think the Syokimau structure is not complete until by the time I'm leaving the military, it's still not complete. It's somewhere past the Linton.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. But that's where you're at basically financially by this 2006 when you're leaving.
Yes.
Okay. Was the decision to leave, because it sounds like there's a property that's in the process of being built.
Yes.
You already told us people thought that you were crazy by the time you're leaving this, cushy job, so to speak. So what's the discussion with your wife like when you're saying, I want to quit this and get into entrepreneurship?
So actually at this point, we are not discussing entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And remember, already we are doing some entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Because we were running the Pursuit Point in Nanyuki. Then in Nairobi, we ran a beauty concern called The Blue in Syokimau. But these things are mainly driven by my wife. Because me, I have a day job, so her she's doing. So we are in some sense of entrepreneurship. But a few things push us towards me resigning. One of them, there was not so much stability in postings. So you see, I'm in Nairobi. A few months later, I'm in Nanyuki. 2 years later, I'm in Nairobi. 2 years later, I'm in Eldoret. Because now, around this 2004, I'm posted to Eldoret as the production manager of the bullet factory. And even at the point I'm working at the bullet factory, there are conversations to transfer me again. So this was not doing very well with our children, because now at this point we have children. And they are changing schools every day. So that was the first problem. The second problem, I realized the military is set in its ways. There's nothing you can do to change how the military works.
Yes.
And I'm a person who believes in impact, on doing something that you can manage, grow, and create impact. So I come to the realization that will not be possible in the army. So the army then works very well with status quo. This is how we've done this thing. This is how we do it. So those two things then push me to make a decision to exit the military.
Okay.
So I put in my resignation around 2006 to exit the military. So it was purely an inward-looking decision to see what can we do to become better people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your plan in terms of how you're going to make money? And you have a family at this point that you're supporting. What's your plan to make money at this point when you're leaving?
So at this point, already I've applied for jobs.
Okay.
So it's not like I resigned without a job. So at this point, I looked at the corporate world, and I think the corporate then considered everyone in the army can only do security. So even if you told them that I've done engineering, I've studied physics, I've been a manager, in fact, I think they don't listen. No, I think they don't care. So the better answer is that they didn't care. So I applied for jobs. And during that time, President Kibaki and Raphael Tuju had just taken over the KICC from KANU. Remember, KANU had alleged that they own KICC. Despite the government of Kenya building it. It's one of those bad jokes.
Yeah.
So I get a job as the head of security.
At KICC.
So I get the appointment before
before
I exit.
Right.
Actually, I didn't come in as head of security. I came in as head of electronic security. I later became the head of security. But yes, in principle, I had a job. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when I
that's
resigned.
what you exit to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How long do you continue in, I guess, corporate employment? Because you've talked about even being promoted. How long are you there for?
So at KICC, I joined in 2006. I worked there up to around 2010. Philip Kisia was the CEO then. So we grew the center from like a 30 million annual revenue to, by the time I'm leaving, maybe a 700 million annual revenue. Organize it to one of the most respected convention centers in Africa. I think after Marrakesh in Morocco and Santon in South Africa. And we attract a lot of conferences into the city. And at this time, the Norfolk is doing well, the Intercon is doing well, the Hilton is doing well, Safari Park is doing well. There used to be a gentleman called Phineas Kimathi. He used to run a concern called San Valencia that used to do bulk food catering. He's doing very well. The Carnival is doing very well. They're all doing well courtesy of the KICC, because the KICC is bringing in people to the city.
One thing that, do you remember some of the things that were being implemented by the management team or the executive team at KICC that was now attracting these conferences or meetings that weren't coming in before?
Yes, I do. So I think, number one, just to give kudos to Philip, I think sometimes we don't celebrate our people enough. That Philip Kisa is really a great leader. So among the things that he's doing, one, he assembles a very good team in terms of the leadership team. I think we were like 11 people, but amazing leaders. And if I look back, most of them now are doing serious things wherever they're doing, because the bulk of them are not at the center now. So we get ISO certification just to organize how we do things. We repair the center. The servo is leaking. Servo is the big ballroom.
Right.
We fix it. The amphitheater is leaking. We fix it. We do recarpeting of the center. We buy new chairs. We do beautification around the center. We do surveillance. We contract better service providers, pay people better, and also do quite a lot of marketing. So at this point, there are a lot of our marketing team traveling abroad to Germany, to wherever, to market the center, position the center. And also the macroeconomy is not doing badly, because Kibaki is the president at this time. A lot of things are happening in the business space. And so business is booming. So I will say those are some of the things that Philip and us did to ensure that the center is doing well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So anyways, but you're telling me the story of I guess how you were working your way up while you're working at KICC, and
Yes.
that's how I asked you about. Yeah. So what else is going on at that time?
So at this point, so me, I'm a head of security at this point. So I decided to go back to the university to do an MBA. So I do an MBA now at Nairobi University. Evening classes, I finish. I graduate, I think, in 2010, thereabout. Because at this point, I'm clear, I don't want just to stick here as a head of security. Because again, the upward propensity of the head of security, I looked stuck.
Yes.
Because now if you're the head of security, the succession at the center favored marketing and finance. And clearly I was an outsider in this conversation. So I do an MBA, and I start teaching part-time at Egerton. They had a town campus here. But around that time, I met a gentleman called Maina Wandere. Maina Wandere is the proprietor of Wonder Joy Party World.
You've spoken to his son.
You've spoken to his son,
Yeah.
yes. So
Yeah.
Maina is happening, as in is a party logistics, and is among the people who really are driving this economy at this point. And we are working with him at the center. So an accidental conversation with Maina. So I met Maina on the corridors of KICC, and he's like, by the Major, I would like to hire 2 captains to help me with my operations. I have quite a lot of indiscipline in my team, and I like your sense of discipline. So I tell Maina off my head, by the way, I do recruitment for people.
Yeah.
But this is not true. but you see, I realize I can't do this thing for free. So I can't do this thing for free.
Yeah.
So Maina tells me, go ahead, give me a proposal. At this point, Barack, I have no idea what the proposal is. So I quickly register a company called Armstrong Young. Armstrong Young, why? I was strong and young. I love this story. I love this story. Yeah. So the company registry was very efficient, because I think in a week or so I had the company. We got the KRA things you get and all that confusion. And I talked to a friend of mine called Susan Campbell. Susan Campbell by then was the head of HR, but she had moved out of KICC. So I asked her, Susan, I think she worked with Komatsu on Uhuru Highway. There's this gentleman I need to recruit for, but I don't know how to do a proposal. Susan told me, I'll forward you. I'll send you something. So she sends me, I do a proposal for Maina. Maina loves it. And I recruit for Maina. And I make money. Actually, I think on this recruitment, I make like 3 times what I earn in a month.
On this recruitment?
Because you are charging the equivalent of the salary.
Yes. So
if this guy is earning 100K, you charge 100K. And by this time, I'm earning around 152,000 at KICC. And I think Maina needs like 4, 5, 6 people on around 100K each.
Yeah.
So this thing is coming to like 500, 600.
How do you find the people?
No, I'm a military officer, so I just post.
I have a job.
I just tell my guys, pal, do you need a job? You know a guy who has retired, has been fired, or something like that. You know the needy cases around. So you talk to some of these guys. I've already sent you profiles saying by their Major, if you hear anything. So those days there was a lot of if you hear anything. So I assemble a very good team of people. Maina loved these people. And I became a de facto recruiter for Wonder Joy, and he refers me to a few more people. So these Armstrong Young things become very serious. And part of my leaving the KICC was a conflict of interest.
Yes.
Yeah, because I seem to be doing, because Armstrong Young started even doing security, and some of my clients were tenants at KICC. So like the Tintin restaurant, run by Natu then. So clearly there was a conflict.
I guess for my further storytelling, what's the most interesting security case you deal with while you're at KCC?
The most interesting security case I deal with, there's this gentleman. I'll not name him. He's pretty prominent.
Yeah.
But this guy is a professional thief. If there's something like that. So him, you know, KICC, we are hosting conferences.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of laptops. You see, if you're hosting like an interministerial conference,
everyone has a laptop.
So sometimes I would have a case where I have 1,000 laptops at the center. And at this point, there's a big trade of laptops on Luthuli. And I'm forgetting downtown, Luthuli, Tomboya, there's one, Nyamakima.
Yes,
I was missing that name. There's a thriving business. And I know the buyers. I know the guys who are buying the laptops. I didn't know the thieves, but I knew this one.
Yeah.
But this guy was smart. I've never met someone this smart. So this guy, for every conference, even if it is heads of states, ministerial, Total Kenya, Equity, EABL, this guy is an accredited delegate. You are doing like a youth conference. You are doing a Juakali conference. You are doing a transport conference. This guy is there. So me, I flag the guy. Then the organizers tell me, no, you can't flag our delegate. This is a very serious delegate. And this guy will talk in these conferences, and he had very good points. But this guy is a thief. And he has like his crew, his gang.
So he comes with these guys.
And these guys, he credits them. So, but his guys will change. But him, he never changed. So you are right. Like there's a time I was hosting my minister. That's Najib Balala, who was the minister for tourism. And my PS, by then, Rebecca Naputola. So as a parastatal, this is our minister. So these are like the bosses of our bosses. So, you know, it's a serious thing. So Philip tells me, Major, we are having very serious delegates. Please, let's ensure that everything is fine. Then I see this guy. Then I tell him, you know, now we had become friends. I tell him, please, today, don't. Just, my job depends on this thing. The guy tells me, Major, I will not. I will not. I give you my word. I'll not. So this conference was for 3 days. So day 1, no problem. Day 2, no problem. Now the last day, 7 laptops stolen at once. So guys have gone for lunch, and then you see now as a center, you can't tell delegates that we are not safe, carry your laptop. So you have to tell them, we are safe, you just leave. Me in my heart, I'm saying, God of Nazareth, what?
7 laptops gone.
So I call him. I tell him, my friend, now part of these laptops that have been stolen is the Minister of Tourism for Uganda. So now I'm getting calls from the ministry, not from Philip. I call this guy. I tell him, please, just do what you can do.
Bring them.
I get 3 back. Therefore, he tells me it was too late. They've already gone. Even him, it's beyond him. So I think that was my most interesting. And it was interesting because no one believed me that this guy is a thief. Even by the time I was leaving the center, he was still there.
But you know he's a thief.
I know this guy. I even know where he's selling. But I need
because of his status.
Because of the way he positions. This guy had no job. He was not employed. He He was not working for anyone.
Yeah.
No, this was his job. But he had perfected the art of being a delegate for everyone. So he was a professional delegate.
That's crazy. Let me ask. I know you're not going to tell me his name. I don't know.
No, I can't tell
I
his
don't
name.
even know his name.
Yes.
But is this still operating to date?
I think so. I've not been to the center for a while.
But you'd not be surprised.
But even if it is not him, there will be another one like him or someone that is groomed. So it's a business that is passed over.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like...
Okay, anyway, so we go to the point where you now have a conflict of interest because of the company, the Armstrong Young, that you're now running, that's now picking up things and now getting clients that are in conflict with KICC. So what happens next? How are you forced to leave, or do you feel like you have to leave?
No, I'm managed out.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm managed out in not a very nice way, but the bottom line is that I'm managed out.
Okay.
So I this point, I'm managed out. Then I now focus on Armstrong Young, and we grow. We really grow. I'm running it with Lucy. Lucy is my wife. And we get a number of contracts across the city. We are doing a lot of recruitment. That becomes our key job.
So maybe you can just define for me how the business is set up and what you're doing as Armstrong Young at that time.
So at this point, we are doing only two things. We are doing HR services and we are doing security services. But on the security services, we are mainly doing guarding for small, not very big establishments. And then recruitment, we are doing very professional, because now I've done recruitment for a while at this point. So we are doing very serious recruitment for a number of very serious organizations. So a lot of money is coming in from the recruitment. And then we are investing it in security. Then we get into security very seriously. And we realize that we have no idea of running because at this point, I've never run commercial security. I've worked in public security. I have taught security in academia. I've also consumed security as a head of security, what we call corporate security. But I've not done commercial, where I'm selling security. So I realized it's a different ballgame, and completely I have no idea. And I'm struggling across everywhere.
What's different about the security that you had done up until the point, the public etc., and this commercial one? What's the thing that's fundamentally different that's making it difficult for you to find your feet?
So you see, public security, if you are an engineer, you're just doing engineering. You have no interface with the money. So you don't know how money is made. In any case, money is given by the government. So there's no money you guys are making.
Yes.
Then in corporate security, I'm consuming security. So I work for the KICC, then I have security companies giving me service.
Right.
So me, the commercials, I'm basically, so all I need to do is to pay them.
Yes.
As to how they do the back office, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Then I'm teaching security at Egerton at this point. All I need to do is to appear in class
And teach.
and then wait for my salary. But now here, I have to cost the product. I have to pay an SSF. I have to pay wages. I have to pay payee. So I come to the point where I realize that there's a completely different ballgame that I was not familiar with. And there are laws that I need to comply with, and no one has taught me these laws. So I talked to a friend of mine who was running another security company. I tell him, my guy, me, I can't do this thing. I'm giving you my security company. Don't pay me anything. Just ensure that you offer service to my clients. At this point, I have like 4 or 5 clients. And the guy, so I basically ran away. As in, this thing was not working. And also people were not paying me.
A lot of owed you money.
People owe me money, but not at the end of the month. The guard does not care whether you are paid or not. And most of our guards are very humble. If you don't pay him, his house is closed. So he can't even come to work. So this thing had become too complex. So I exited, and around the same time, 911, owned by Joshua Kule. Joshua Kule was a state house operative under Moi. So they were the guys who called the shot under President Moi. He still owns 911. He runs a number of companies. So they were looking for a general manager. So they hired me as the general manager. My friend was their director HR. So it was a very easy. So it was more like headhunting.
Okay.
So we just called, I went and did the job for them.
Okay. So you ran away from Armstrong.
I ran away from Armstrong Young.
You don't ask for any money, nothing.
No,
say,
I just tell the guy, my guy, this thing, I can't.
Yeah.
Actually did not have the skills. So by the time I'm joining 911, because at that point I decided to go back to the job market. I'd actually applied for several jobs. It was not just 911. So at the same time, I got 2 job offers. I got several job offers, but I have 2 that I remember. So I got the general manager job at 911. And I got a senior assistant registrar at the University of Nairobi. Then I asked myself, what do I want to become? clearly I didn't want to become a professor. So then this university thing was not making sense.
Right.
But I wanted to be an entrepreneur in a security-related field. So 911 made a lot of sense. So at the point I was going to 911, I was very clear that I would not stay there for long. I was very clear that I'm coming in, I will help you do your thing, but fundamentally I also want to learn.
Okay.
Because I was reporting to someone else. So there was an MD that I was reporting to. And they had systems. So fundamentally, that's why I joined 911.
Okay. Can you tell me now, because I know we'll go to the next phase where you actually set up your own firm.
Yes.
Can you give me a bit of the lay of the land of how the security, how commercial security works and the different types of firms? Because, you'll walk into more established like places like this one.
Yes.
And you'll find, is it KK that's downstairs?
No, I think I saw Securex.
Anyway,
I saw Securex.
You'll find Securex and find like that kind of sort of setup with uniform and everything. And then you'll go and maybe be like at an estate and find a more casual, maybe still uniformed, but still, you can tell it's not like particularly trained. And then you can go to places where, so for example, there's a place where I stayed where I think the one of the guards, I think was a graduate who was like waiting for a job, and so he seems to be working for someone and just sort of sitting in and while he's waiting for jobs come through. So I don't know if you can give me like a lay of the land of what the security ecosystem looks like in Kenya.
So I think that's a good question. It's also one of the questions I like answering. First, let me start with the architecture of how the business looks like. So when you meet a guy, if you meet someone and you tell them that I charge, like us, we charge 40,200 for a guard before VAT. And then the guard ends up earning maybe 19K. The typical question you get from the public is that you guys are stealing. And that conversation is even picked by politicians. And if you listen to trade unionists, there's a gentleman who is in charge of trade union for the private guards. Yes. And there's a story they go around telling the media that security companies are actually thieves. If that was true, most of these director of security companies would be very wealthy. But if you can see that they're not, wealth you can't hide.
Yes.
So it's the guy is struggling. But where does the money go? I think that is the question I will want to answer. So now security companies are licensed by somebody called Private Security Regulatory Authority, PSRA. So number one, if someone is not licensed, that person is a criminal. But do we have companies that are not licensed? Yes, we have. Many. We have many companies that are not licensed.
Are they more than the licensed?
They could be.
Yeah.
They could be more than the licensed. So that is the first thing. Then there's you have minimum wage guidelines. You'll hear the president from time to time saying, we've reviewed minimum wage.
Yes.
So those minimum wages are enforceable by law. So
yes, because I remember actually, I think a couple of years ago when I was still like consulting at Nation, there was a strike by the security
guards.
Yes, by security guards. Yes.
And they were saying maybe they're not being paid minimum wages.
Yes.
So the minimum wages are enforceable by law. So today, the minimum wage for a guard in the city is 18,531. There's contention around it because then that is based on an 8-hour shift. But see, guards work 12-hour shifts. If you are to load their overtime, these guys will earn up to around 30K. But that's a conversion for another day. Then there's the NSSF. You need to pay 6% to match the employer co-pay. Then we have the 1.5%, the one for housing levy, that you need to match. Then there's WIBA, Workman Injury Benefits Act, that you need to ensure that they are insured. Then there's NITA, National Industrial Training Authority, that you have to pay for them. So those are the ones that the employer meets. But them independently, they also meet SHA.
Yes.
SHA is not matched. Then, after every 6 days, you need to hire someone called a reliever. The client does not... So if you tell me you want one guard, what is your assumption? The guard will work until they die. But remember, the guard rests 1 day a week.
Yes.
So I have to pay someone else who is not your guard to come on that day. The guard has to go for leave. So every 21 days in a year, I have to pay someone called an annual leave reliever so that your guard can go on leave. If your guard is a lady, and she's expecting, I have to pay someone while your guard goes. And that lady, the guard is still on salary.
Yes.
The one on maternity.
Yes.
Then they sick relievers. Guards are human beings. They fall sick. When they are sick, they can't come to work, but they're on payroll. So I have to hire someone called a sick reliever to relieve sick people. So those are just relievers.
Yeah.
Then I've talked of statutories. Then there's uniform. Now, once I do uniform, then there are also people who support these guards. The managers. Then there's also training. You have to train these guards. Then you have to make a margin because you're not an NGO.
Yes.
So at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the guard earns around 48% of invoice. So if I'm charging you 50K, a guard should earn around 24K. That is standard to meet the costs that the government wants. Also remember there are licensing costs with PSRA. So there's a lot of other unforeseen. So
how much is the licensing cost annual to be a...
There's the official and an unofficial. So the official one is not much.
Yeah.
But you get the gist.
I get, yes.
Yes, you get the gist. So then now let me come to the lay of the land. So the lay of the land is very... So in the beginning, this country was colonized.
Yes.
And the post-colonization is the white businesses that were doing well.
Yes.
So there's I think the black population is still very colonized in their mind. So the most Kenyans still think that the white companies are superior to the black companies. But they have the first mover advantage. They were there before we guys knew how to shower and to run a business.
Right.
So by the time you are starting your business, G-Force is already there. It was running in the UK for many years. Gadaworld is running in Canada for many years. SGA, though local, white, but has been running for many years. So it's not like, so sometimes I get into rooms where people tell you that the white companies are tier one or they are superior. No. It's just that this guy started early before us. But two, most of the big businesses in this country, they're owned by who? When you go to EABL, who owns it? It's owned by Britain. If you go to Safaricom, who owns it? It's owned by Vodafone. Which is the other big business? GM, General Motors. Who owns it? So, if EABL is looking for a security company, and it's owned by Diageo before the Japanese bought it,
These things happen, yeah.
and G4S and Jeff Hamilton is bidding, what do you think? The ownership is British.
Yeah.
Or these embassies, these top embassies, they're from America. Gadaworld is Canadian. So if I'm pitching, so it's not like that. It's just that it's the way the world is designed.
Right.
So you have those white companies, but now you also have what I'm calling the top emerging black companies. And what is making them top is that they're complying to the law. Because what is important in security or outsourcing, which we now do, is that are you meeting what the government is regulating? Are you paying minimum wages? Are your people relaxing? Are they taking leaves? Are you giving them protective equipment? Are you paying the NSSFs, the housing levy? Are you giving a good work environment that reduces accidents and stuff like that? So there's now a batch of local black companies that now are giving. Actually, I think now most of them have surpassed most of these non-Kenyan, the incumbent companies. So like today, Jeff Hamilton, we are a top security company, not just in Kenya, because we operate in Kenya, we are in Uganda, we are in Rwanda, we are in Tanzania.
Yeah.
And so there's an emergence of that type of thing.
Okay.
So my estimation is that as we move forward,
thing will...
that should, but it's a colonization thing. I saw some white lady saying that there's racism in Kenya, and she said that the racism is that the blacks favor her because she's white, and the blacks discriminate against blacks. I have faced that when I'm pitching to people in these big corporates, and the person I'm pitching to is black, but the black guy I'm pitching to believes that because I'm black, then the service I'm giving is inferior to the service being given by a white guy. So it's a black problem. Whites are strangers in this conversation.
Okay. Two things I want to ask. What's the training you ideally put through for your security guards? What kind of training do they go through? And then what's their mandate? Because, I think, and I'm trying to be very vulnerable and honest, I think in my head, I probably feel like whoever guards our house in the evening is a little bit like a bodyguard, but they really aren't. Like when I think about it, I mean, should they put themselves in harm's way for my benefit? What's their mandate?
So the Kenyan private security sector is flawed, fundamentally flawed. So let me start with Uganda. So Uganda, Jefferson guards have guns. So we carry. So you know that private security guards in Uganda carry firearm.
Yes.
So what that does is that the cost of doing business comes down, because if I'm guarding a bank and I give them a guard who is armed, they don't need police. If I'm escorting cash in transit, they don't need police. And for the firearm bit, the incremental cost in Uganda is 100,000 UGX, which is like 3K.
So it's fraction.
It's like 3,000 Kenya shillings. For 3,000 a month, you get an armed guard. But in Kenya, what do we do?
An armed guard who is trained.
Who is trained?
Knows how to use
Because training is regulated.
Yes.
So in Uganda, there's a regulation on, even in Kenya, there's regulation on what you need to train the guards on. So their mandate, before I come to my comments on it, their mandate is to provide, to protect assets. These assets could be property and life in private spaces, in non-public spaces, where they find, because those private spaces have assignment operating procedures, they have guidelines. So if I'm coming to your apartment and you must be called before I'm admitted, then the guard will do that. And if someone tries to force their way, they will not allow the person.
Yes.
What is so their role is regulated by the Private Security Regulatory Act. And that act says if there's infringement in the procedures of that facility, they should arrest you while observing human rights and produce you to the nearest police station within reasonable time. So they should not keep you.
Yes.
Or they should not molest you.
Yes.
So they must handle you properly and take you to the police station. Now, is our private security sector effective? I don't think so. I think it is structurally set up to fail by the government. And what is my thought around it? Number one, you cannot expect someone's son or daughter to guard a place that is porous and prone to a lot of insecurity, unarmed, with a baton, without a gun. So you find a lot of these guys are killed in the line of duty. But what is the problem? What is the Kenyan problem? Now I'm talking to this in comparison with the other East African countries, is that we have a private security company called Administration Police. So the mandate of the AP does not belong to the government. It belongs to the private security sector. But because they make money on it, they're not willing to cede.
That's
Because if you go to Equity in an ATM, what do you find? You find a private guard and you find police. When you go to a church on Sunday, you find private guards, you find police. So it's extremely expensive and the cost of police is very high. But what is my thought about it? If we moved this to the private sector, we'll be overestablished in police, because then we'll have close to 40,000 APs that we can mainstream
into
the police. So we don't need to hire. So that is my fundamental problem with the way we are structured. So we need to arm the private guards so that they are more effective. The industry is very advanced in Kenya, but until we arm them, it's very cosmetic.
Yeah. What have you seen? I mean, because you're saying you operate in Uganda, and I know we've gone ahead of the conversation, we'll come back, but you operate in Uganda and Kenya, given that stark difference in terms of ability to have a firearm and not. Are there also differences in security incidents that you guard based on this metric? In Uganda, are there less incidents than there in Kenya because of the armedness of the guards, or is it similar?
No, there are more in Kenya. You see, Uganda, I think when the first time I went to Uganda, before, I think that was in 2011 or thereabout. So I stayed in a small hotel. So I think it was 3 rooms. And in the evening, a guard came with a firearm. It was my first interaction with an armed guard. And I was like, what? How now? I didn't understand. But now looking back, now that I've interacted with both countries, number one, you know Uganda is more, it's more structured in terms of administration or in terms of the public discourse as opposed to Kenya. So, the private security sector works, one, because of the fact that they are armed. So if you go to a big establishment, like I have in some establishments where we have up to 15 guns. So there's no way someone will be a nuisance, and they don't have to call the police because they are armed. So there is less security incidences in Uganda as opposed to Kenya in that sense.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, so now let's even come, because we're just getting into the sector. I want to understand the Jeff Hamilton story, how you set it up. You have a very interesting story about why you even chose that name, which you've alluded to a bit.
Yes.
But yeah, so tell us how Jeff Hamilton comes together.
So I joined 911 in 2011.
Yes.
And I do 2 years. Within the 2 years, we structure the business from loss making to profit making. And the business does extremely well. And I'm told that the Armstrong Young website, remember Armstrong?
Yes.
Is still up.
One
afternoon.
Your friend is still running it.
Yes, so it means that I'm cited again for conflict.
Yes.
But I'd actually declared that I used to do this thing at the interview phase. So anyway, that's corporate politics. So I'm managed out again.
Okay, as you're telling me manage out, can you remember the different things that you did to make that business profitable from a loss-making perspective to profitable?
So I think there were 2 fundamental things. The pricing was wrong, what you call costings. So like you see, I've told you the costs that go into a guard.
Yes.
So if you under costs and you are paying, what I've noted in this sector, a lot of entrepreneurs in this sector are suffering because they don't know the cost implications. So they could be charging you 20K for a guard, but when they pile up the costs, their cost is 24. So they are making 4K loss from source. Yeah. From source.
Before anything.
So that was the first problem that was there. So we worked on pricing. We took it up. When you work on pricing, you lose some people, but you retain sane people. So that is the first thing that we did. The second thing is that we were overestablished on the admin side. We had too many staff who were involved in administration. We almost looked like the government. So we had too many. If you go to a county headquarters and you're told all these guys are administering people. So it looked like that. So we brought it down. So I requested to be mandated to manage out what I didn't need. I managed out close to 70%. 70%. And that just pushed us into profitability. Yes. Okay. So it was just those 2 things that we did. And then now worked on training, did a better product, served our clients better, so that way now we can also charge a premium.
Okay.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. So you're managed out. What happens then?
So I'm managed out. I consider looking for another job. I go for a few interviews. Then there's this one interview I went for during this space now. I will not say the name because it's a prominent company. So I go into the boardroom. I was not invited. I just walk in
for the interview.
So at this point, I'm a prominent name in the business.
Okay.
So it's not like you. It's now like Barack. Maybe you want to do something. You want to do something for NTV or whatever. Yeah. And you walk in. Yeah. I will say, I'm Barack. And then we know you. So I walk into this business. I tell them, I'm Major Boke. And they say, oh, by the way, we know you. Our CEO is around and he would love to talk to you. So I tell them, I used to work in this place and I think I can be useful to you. And they tell me, yeah, we can have a conversation. So we have a conversation. They take me through so in principle, they grant.
They tell
me that's okay.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the problem. So they take me through, they were a tracking technology company.
Right.
That was competing with us. No, also ran car track. So they took me through their problems and gave me my task. in this first meeting of what I need to do. So I went home and told my wife. And my wife told me, now, if these guys think that you are this good, why don't you just start your own thing? Why do you keep on? Because you've just walked in unannounced. These guys have given you a job. They're even saying that tomorrow. Why don't you start yours tomorrow? So I made a decision at that point that we need to start something. And that's how Jeff Hamilton was born.
Okay.
In 2013, on 14th February 2013.
That's how it started.
That's how we decided we are starting a company. We had a choice of going back to Armstrong. But you see, we had something to prove because I've been managed out saying that there's conflict of interest. So we said, okay, that's what you think. We'll start something.
You're not going to go back.
We are not going to go back.
Right.
We'll do something to make it clear that, yes, when we say something, we mean it.
Yeah.
So that's how Jeff Hamilton started.
Tell me about the name.
So Jeff is my son.
Yes.
I think he's the one who was engaging here.
Yeah.
And he works as my executive assistant. And Hamilton was to make it look posh. We had a choice to call it Jeff Kitangita, and you will not buy it. So what was our strategy? So at this point, as I told you, my sector was dominated by the white people. And I realized that penetrating was hard. So I went out and I was teaching, this time I was still teaching security management at the university. And my students were predominantly the heads of security of the serious corporates those days. So you see, I had a front row seat to access the people who could determine my fate.
Yes.
So I appointed myself CEO Jeff Hamilton. From the beginning, it was not very clear that I'm not the owner because that was not posh. And we said this business is a British business. And that the Britons have just moved into Kenya.
Yeah.
And we are going to take this market by storm.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of money that we have. In the meantime, we are looking to recruit an operations director, an HR director, a sales director, and everyone else.
Yeah.
And whom am I meeting? I'm meeting my heads of security because they are the guys who can determine my fate. I'm meeting important people. I've updated my LinkedIn profile. I'm on Facebook, I'm posting the way I am the guy.
Yeah.
I am the CEO Jeff Hamilton. And I started getting calls from everyone saying, Major, by the way, I'm frustrated where I'm working. I would want to work for Jeff Hamilton. And my application was full. And that is the posture we took. And 3 months later, we launched in February. 3 months later, one of my students, who was now a top security operative in a security company, calls me and tells me, by the way, we are terminating some contract because my CEO doesn't like it. And they're looking for multinational. And I've informed them that you work for a new multinational. And they would like you to take up the assignment. Yeah. They were at a building on Parklands Road. I think it's called Sclater, something like that. So this call, I'm getting it at 2:00. I tell him, when can I meet this person? They told me, you have an appointment at 5. I drive to Parklands. I meet this client, Joiti Structures. It's an Indian multinational. They were doing power transmission. I meet the CEO, and the CEO tells me, I have Googled. I have seen Jeff Hamilton. Our website was up to date. At this point, you're operating in South Sudan. You're operating in Kenya. We're operating in Uganda. We're operating in Rwanda. We're operating in Congo and operating in Tanzania. Yeah. And the CEO confirms that he's looked at our website, and this is exactly the type of person he wants. And he has an assignment that needs to be taken up tonight in Kisamis, near Magadi. And I tell the CEO, Kisamis, that we can do. That is straightforward. From that meeting, I call my wife and tell her, oh, chick, we are in trouble. We have a new assignment, 5 guards in Kisamis. So I'm on my way to Kisamis now as we speak. I get to Kisamis at 8 in the evening. I met the company that was there. It belonged to this, my student, who is a prominent guy. And I tell them, how much are you on? They tell me they're on 9,500. So I address them. I tell them, from now henceforth, you are on 10,500. There's a 1,000 pay hike. And you no longer work for this company. You work for Jeff Hamilton. And you are the boss. I appoint one.
I point one as the boss. And I negotiate with my friend not to withdraw the uniforms because at this point I have nothing.
Yes.
I have no uniform. So I tell the guys, you'll work in your uniform as we fix your uniform. We are fixing something serious. And that is how we got our first salary.
So, I mean, it sounds like when you're starting Jeff Hamilton, you're starting with maybe not zero capital, but you're not really, like, you don't have money in it to start the security firm itself.
No, actually, you are right. Yeah. We don't have money. For me, if you ask me, I think I saw the Mcharo interview.
Yes.
The gentleman, the developer of Savo.
Yes.
And I agree with him spot on. You don't need money to start a business. You don't. That is just people inhibiting their thoughts. Because at the point of starting, I now have guards. At this point, you can see I have guards.
Yes.
And I'm already I'm doing a contract. So at the end of the month, I'll be paid.
Yes.
And all I need to do is once I'm paid, I pay the salaries. And then your uniforms, you can get on credit. And then now you basically ensure that you are prudent with your finances. And over time, you will require capital. I actually think we started needing money later as we became bigger. But in the beginning, we didn't have money. This thing, we just started it just like that.
Okay.
So no fundamental credit. Capital. If there's capital, the salary have been paid. Maybe for the last month I've worked at 911. So that's what you can say is the capital. But we don't have like money stashed somewhere or that we took a loan or we talked to angel investors. No, there was nothing like that.
How long do you work for and at Jeff Hamilton before you begin to pay yourself?
So I think I get on payroll. So we get a contract in May. Then in August, we get another big contract. We get Mavuno charge. I go to Mavuno. So Mavuno gives us a big contract. And I think the Mavuno contract by then was like, give or take 800,000 Kenya shillings. And the Joiti contract must have been like 300. So at this point, we are on a monthly turnover of around 1.1 million.
Yeah.
But at this point, still, I'm not on payroll because I've hired a head of operations at this point. Because I need someone who can run around this thing. So the head of operations is on payroll and my wife is on payroll. But the head of operations is on the highest payroll.
Yes.
Is paid most, followed by my wife. Me, I'm not on payroll at this point. Because I'm also still doing small recruitments to finance my lifestyle. So I'm not on payroll. Okay. I get onto payroll, give or take 18 months later.
Okay.
Yes.
What milestone do you hit at the 18th month mark that allows you to get on payroll? What have you done by this point? And how have you gone about growing Jeff Hamilton to get to that point?
So at this point, so you can see that of the two clients, Mavuno was our most prominent client.
Yes.
Because by then Mavuno was on Bellevue at South Sea.
Yes.
And it was a very prominent location. So courtesy of Mavuno, we started getting a number of churches in terms of clientele. So we get Mamlaka Hill Chapel at this point. We get All Saints Cathedral. I think almost around that time we get Nairobi Chapel. We get Papat Center by Pastor Julian Kula. We get Family Evangelistic Ministry in Karen. So that then also helps us to get into real estate.
Right.
Because now this congregant stays somewhere. So the what we focused on was service. We were our entry strategy was that we are multinational. So you see, we had to leave the story.
Yes. You had to
we had to be a multinational. Yes. And you see there are things that multinationals must do. You must train your people. You must pay them well. You must pay them on time. You must treat them well. You must be fair to them. So those are the simple things that we did. And the industry then was not very polished. Most of the indigenous companies were not treating people well. So it was very easy to raise your head above if you are doing well. We also invested in a very good uniform.
Yes, I was about to ask you,
yes.
where did the ideation for the uniform come from? The black and everything. Who came up with that?
That was my idea. I love black.
Yeah.
You can see I'm in black.
Yes.
I generally love black. I love simplicity. So I'm the type of guy, my color is black or white. Nothing beyond that. So that was my idea. But also because of my military engagement, I was very clear on discipline. So one of the things we do at Jeff Hamilton is that all our leaders, whether you are an MD Uganda, MD Rwanda, you must go through the guards training. So everyone goes through the guards training.
And that has created a lot of sense of discipline. Then we also created the Jeff Hamilton Circle. So you can take a loan and stuff like that. So the business basically boomed at that point, because on year one, we made a turnover of around 5 million. That's in 2013. The next year, we jumped to 25 million. Year 3, we won around 70 million. So then I got into payroll. I got as the lowest paid person on payroll. I became the highest paid staff, I think like 3 years into the fact. That's when I became the highest paid staff.
Okay.
Then I got into now what you can say market rate payroll, maybe 10 years into the fact.
10 years into
Yes, that's when I'm paid like a typical CEO.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So you've told us how the business grows at the very beginning and organically from the church community, and it branches out, and you've even explained how then that gets into retail. Is there any other big milestone that you sort of hit even in year 3, for example, to get you from 50 to 75? And are you finding any challenges from recruiting guards who are of Jeff Hamilton caliber?
So I think the other big milestone, we hit it in 2015. So from 2013 to 2015, we are a security services company.
Yes.
So in 2015, Carrefour, the French supermarket,
yes,
franchised by Dubai, Majid Al Futain, come to Kenya. And they are setting up at the hub. The hub is a big thing. The hub is happening. And I have a friend working for Carrefour called Njenga. So a big shout out to him. So he calls me and tells me we are looking for security. And we pitch. Actually, they were looking for loss control. So at that point, there were 3 major providers in loss control. There is Omega, there is Hippora, and then there's Jeff Hamilton.
Okay.
Hippora is South African, Omega is indigenous, and we are also indigenous. So we pitch for loss control, and we lose. All of us lose it to Hippora.
Okay. What's loss control?
Loss control is what you'll call stock security. So you are basically providing security for inventory.
Okay.
So like I have stock in the supermarket. How are we buying it? How much did we buy? What was the LPO? What do we have in the warehouse? How much have we dispatched? What is the balance?
Okay.
So that is now loss control. But guarding is facility. Someone is coming into a building you can't access.
Okay. So loss control, primarily, you're dealing with employees.
No, we are dealing with inventory by Carrefour. As in, they are buying wares to their warehouse.
Okay.
How is it coming in? How is it being dispatched to the supermarkets? And then we do stock tech.
No, but I'm saying the people who would be stealing would be employees.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The bulk is normally internal.
Yeah.
So we lose. So to cut the long story short, we lose the loss control business. Then, but I keep in touch with the head of security for Carrefour. So I become his go-to person when he has problems. I sort him and stuff. So then I get a funny call from Carrefour, from a gentleman saying that I've been introduced to you by my head of security and we are looking for trolley boys. At this point, I don't know what a trolley boy is.
I also don't know what a trolley boy is.
I don't know what trolley boy is. But I am that guy who anything you ask, I'll tell you. Yes. Actually, we do. I said we do that in Juba because I knew you cannot confirm in Juba, but in Nairobi you can confirm. So then I call my friend at Carrefour and ask him, what are trolley boys? He told me when people go shopping, these are the guys who pack for you things in the shopping, whatever, and pushes you to your car and escorts you to your car. So then Carrefour gives me that contract for trolley boys. We start with around 30 of them at a hub. By the time we are doing 2023, we had like 400. Because
at
now
the hub.
Carrefour is in multiple locations.
Yeah.
So we are doing their e-commerce. If you shop online, we are the ones who come and shop for you. Then when you go to this, so we are having now at this point, Carrefour is a very big client of ours. Then now, that is the point now. So now we realize this thing is called staff outsourcing. You see, at this point, as we don't know.
Yes.
That is how staff outsourcing is born in Jeff Hamilton. And just to give you perspective, now staff outsourcing controls 60% of what we do.
Right now.
Today, our biggest business today is not
staff.
security, it's staff outsourcing. This is what happened in 2015. So today, Jeff Hamilton is not a security company.
It's more.
We do three things. We do staff outsourcing. We partner with some of the most poignant, some of the most important brands in this part of the world. We do security services, and then we do HR services. So in HR services, we do trainings, we do recruitment. Remember the recruitment of Armstrong Young?
Still.
We do recruitment, and also now we do labor export to take people outside the country. So those are the three things we do.
And staff outsourcing, because first of all, I would never have imagined that. So, let me ask. So, in that transaction of me shopping at Carrefour, where does Carrefour end and the contractor begins? So, is the cashier Carrefour?
It depends. So for it depends. So if you go to different chains, so like the top chains now is Quickmart, Naivas, and Carrefour.
Right.
So like in Quickmart, I think everyone is outsourced to everyone, including the cashier. Even as we got to do cashiers for Carrefour, but after a while they recalled that particular contract. But there's nothing like where Carrefour ends. You know whether staff is outsourced or not.
It's branded.
It's the staff belongs to Carrefour. Everything is the contractor must live by the guidelines of the employer. So even there's a time when KQ, the air crew were outsourced, but it's KQ. Yeah. Okay. So there's nothing like where does the contractor
and then staff will begin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The other now, in fact, we're talking about working in supermarkets. There's a guest we had here who gave us all sorts of horror stories about working in a supermarket. I think
I saw that. I saw that interview.
You've seen that, and so I'm curious for you and your experience of staff outsourcing within supermarkets. What have you seen? I mean, you've broken down for us how you guys try to very fairly pay wages for in the security space. Have you applied the same thing for your staff outsourcing, and typically what does it look like?
So before I come to that answer, the problem is never the employer. The problem is we, the contractors. So I'll give you an example. This building where you are is looking for a guard. Then you invite G4S, KK, Jeff Hamilton, Securex, and some other indigenous companies. KK says 53K, Securex says 47, I say it's 42. Then you get some karaoke Hatari security saying it's 19K.
Yeah.
And you're budget conscious.
Yeah.
Then you give karaoke. But the minimum wage itself is 19.
Yeah. So
this guy ends up paying this guard 10K. This guy, if this guard goes on maternity, they're not on payroll. If this guard is sick, they're not on payroll. So you see, but karaoke confirmed to you that he has capacity to deliver. And that is a fundamental problem. So we a lot of operators in the market tend to undersell, and they underprice, thinking that through that they are growing. But that's basically destroying the industry. Now, let me come to your question. So your question is about fair practices within supermarkets. Yeah. Again, it falls through the same thing I told you in outsourcing companies. The big players are very fair. So the big supermarkets, they're the Carrefours, the Quickmarts, the Naivases, they will fundamentally be fair because they're out there, and a small thing can bring them down and can destroy their brands. And what I've also noted, as the business grows, your names becomes important, and there are shortcuts you can't do. But like I watched the lady you were talking about, she worked for a small supermarket. Yes. So I understand the small supermarket, because the small supermarket cannot afford. I think our minimum wage is not sensitive to small operators. So like in Tanzania, they have two minimum wages. They have minimum wages for big multinationals, and they have minimum wages for small indigenous companies. And methinks the government should consider that. So for example, a guard here is paid 18,531 at the minimum. What about if Nyabikongori Secondary School in my village wants a guard? They can't afford the 18. But there must be someone in that village who will be happy with 6K. And the 6K will be okay. So the government need to create structure where we've banned the minimum wages to deal with different people. So like that small supermarket should have their own minimum wage, which cannot be like Carrefour. So I think that is the fundamental problem. So you'll find that the small players, they will overwork you. because I saw the girl said you work, I think, for
So
12 hours.
Yes.
And maybe they underpay you. When you come late, they deduct
Yes,
the
they were
money.
deducting 500
So I saw that
Yeah.
interview. But okay, deducting money is not nice. But the other question the employer will ask, why are you coming late?
Yeah.
Because if you worked for the big player, they will not deduct, but they will fire you. So if you look at it in that sense, maybe the small player is just being family.
Yeah.
But so the small players tend to have not very good work environment, but the big players have very good work environment.
Okay. Next thing, around milestones for Jeff Hamilton, when do you break out to the first to service the first client out of Kenya permanently? Yeah, to start setting up shop in other places.
So as
although on the website you have always
I'm already so we forget about the website.
Yeah.
So true story. Most of our international expansion has been what I call manifestation of faith. So I met Derek Houghton somewhere in 2016. Derek Houghton was the CEO KFC at this point. And we are pitching for security. And we've already been given the Kenyan security to deploy. You must have noted that we still support KFC. Then I'm having a meeting to meet Derek, a courtesy call on the CEO. And the CEO tells me, by the Major, I saw that you guys are also in Uganda. We would love you to support us in Uganda. By now, you must know what I said.
We are ready.
We are ready. So that is how we fly to Uganda and set up Uganda. And we start operating security services in Uganda in 2016. By this time, you see now we're already offering even staff outsourcing.
Yes.
So at the point we are setting Uganda, we are going in both for staff outsourcing and we are going in for security. Then 2 years later, I met a guy called Mejale Parshao. Mejale Parshao was working for a company called Solar Kiosk. It was not for profit that was promoting retail concept in far-flung areas like Turkana. And they had set up in Rwanda. Same story. Can you support us in Rwanda? By all means. We flew into Rwanda. It took us 5 hours to have Rwanda, it takes you 5 hours to have an incorporation.
Yes.
And within the week, we set up the business. So that is how we got into Rwanda in 2018. So we've been in those markets permanently. The market that gave us the challenge was Tanzania.
Okay. We
moved in Tanzania in 2019. We've had 4 false starts. We've started 4 times and closed 4 times.
What's been the main issue?
The good news is that now we operate there.
Okay.
At least now on the 5th attempt.
Yeah.
Now it has worked. I think the main issue is Tanzania is still very strong on indigenous companies and foreign companies. So there's still a kind of a silent rule that most companies should be owned at majority by Tanzania. And they're not forcing you, but if you don't, then there's a different compliance regime, as what I told you earlier, which can be very punitive.
Yes.
So on the 4 attempts, we were predominantly Kenyan, and that did not work because we faced a number of challenges on the way until we made a decision to take 49%. So now majority is owned by Tanzania, and we've had a very smooth run
since then.
Yeah, and actually it's one of our best performing markets now. Yeah.
Okay. How long do you have to keep this mist about who the owner of Jeff Hamilton is? And how many years before it's revealed that actually it doesn't belong to a white person, but belongs to you?
So I think an incident happened.
Yeah.
We had gone to pitch, actually on Chiromo Road.
Yeah.
There's a building across. They were setting up when the posh high-rise apartments were starting. So they were doing one, very serious one, and it's very prominent, so I can't say the name. So they invite us that they've seen they did a desk audit, and it is us and 2 other companies. Clearly the others were also foreign companies. Yes. So we were all foreign companies. All the 3 of us were foreign.
Yes.
So we appear and we pitch. And then they say, we love your proposal, but we would love to meet the actual owners because we need certain undertakings by the owner and generally, or the shareholders. You see, at this point, they're clear the shareholding is white.
Yes.
So I say, I'm actually the majority shareholder. Yes, I have shareholders, but in principle, I own majority. So whatever you want undertaken, I can undertake. They took offense.
Immediately.
They took not just small offense, they took big offense and said they're not here for jokes. And it's not like they wanted to interview a comedian.
They say that to you.
Yes, we need the honor. And the faster we get through this, the better. You know, we can't they were very cross. It was very bad. And I was with my MD Kenya, a lady called Irene Mambili. So I think Irene noticed. Irene told them, we are sorry. I think the CEO was saying that in jest, but we'll get our actual directors to come and meet you. Clearly, there were no directors. So the only thing we could do is to hire a white guy to tell him to appear. Because that is the only option we had. Actually talked to a white guy.
Yeah.
And he agreed. I was paying him 25,000 for appearance. So he appeared, but we did not get the contract. I think they didn't like there was already bad taste. So after that, then now we started to tell people, because at this point, whatever we wanted had been done.
Yes,
the brand we really achieved. The brand was very strong. Already I'd started talking a lot now at Strathmore Business School. I was doing a lot of talks. So at this point now we were revealing. So, but we still have guys who even when we reveal, they refuse. We still have people up to today. When we meet them and tell them that I am the majority shareholder, they're like, no, my friend, we are not joking. Can you be serious? So that conversation is a continuous conversation.
Wow. Okay.
To date.
At the beginning, when we were talking about, not at the beginning, at some point, we were talking about starting a business needing money and referencing even Ladam Shara's interview. You said you didn't need money at that beginning point,
yes.
But at some point you needed money.
Yes.
So when do you need money?
So you start needing money when you start getting crazy contracts.
Right.
So let's say, for example, we were working with Carrefour, for example.
Right.
There's some also worked with a company in Uganda called Steel and Tube. On this Steel and Tube contract, my monthly wage is like 20 million Kenya shillings to pay the staff.
Yeah.
So it gets to, so ordinarily they pay you for the big contracts like that, they pay you before you pay wage.
Yes.
So maybe you invoice on 24th, by 28th, they pay you so that you administer wage. Then it gets to 28th and they call you and tell you, we have a problem. There's a problem with our bank account and we are not able to pay you. We'll pay you on the 8th. But we are requesting that you administer wages. So at that point, if you don't, these guys will probably go on strike and also it will affect your reputation. So now you have to
get a facility.
You have to get a facility. So now, this Steel and Tube I'm talking about, or Carrefour now, where we have many of that. So ordinarily they pay you on time, but
on the off chance, then you start. Then now we are doing international expansion now, strategically. We are no longer doing international expansion by chance. So we moved into Congo. We are setting up Zambia. We are setting up Burundi. We are waiting to see what happens in Ethiopia. We are waiting to see what happens to Safaricom, so that I know KCB and Equity are also planning. Yeah.
So the moment they go, we'll go there. Now, when you start doing those international expansion structure, then you need capital. Because you'll probably put a CEO there. Because now there you cannot go and hire. You can't be the CEO. You need to hire a professional CEO now.
Yes.
And this CEO is on payroll from day one. And he needs an office. He needs a few assistants. So the moment now you get to our size, now capital starts to become an issue. Yeah. So we started needing capital down the road. Not in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a scenario where, like the scenario we just talked about with the company in Uganda, where there are multiple of those things sort of falling at the same time and you have a huge cash requirement?
Yes.
What's been there? What was that day like and what was the cash requirement for that day and where did you get the money?
I think the most in Uganda, I think we got to a point where we had a cash requirement for like 30 million for wage at once. So we paid the small, you have those innocent small accounts.
Right.
Some night guard who is guarding in Soroti. You can't tell him, dude, we don't. So you clear with those ones. Then now you owe like 30M because your big players are having challenges you can understand. So we basically stopped paying most of the things. Get money from Kenya, get money from Rwanda, stop paying statutories, and move money to solve this problem. Then now you start having other problems now with statutory compliance. So like on this occasion, URA, that's Uganda Revenue Authority, came calling. They clamped our vehicles because we are delayed to pay statutories. And when you become a big statutory payer, then now they depend on that money. When you are smaller, they don't notice. So even Kenya, we've gotten to situations where KRA has clamped us down because we've not paid statutories. But like in Kenya, we got into that situation when Tuskies went down. When Tuskies went down, they went down with around 25 million of ours. And in my type of business, the margins are very small. So when someone goes down with 25 million, it affects many people because remember, you've already paid wage on that 25 million, maybe 20 million. You've already paid pay, you've paid NSSF, you've paid VAT, you've paid everything, but you've not collected the 25. So you are like on a 50 million minus.
Yes.
Because you've gotten 25 somewhere else to service.
So you have that 25,
then you have this one that you've not paid. So KRA came calling. And on this occasion, when KRA came calling, we had to mortgage our house. That famous Yokimau house.
Yes.
We had to mortgage it and got money to pay KRA. I think those two have been my most significant challenges around that.
At what point do you decide to bring in other shareholders, or are other shareholders your family? Because maybe it's your family. Yeah.
So we brought in shareholders not at once. So in Kenya, that period of Tuskies was very difficult for us. And we could not get head or tail because this thing has collapsed. So even if you go to court, the court will rule in what there's the way they call it in law. But it's a law, it's a ruling that can't be enforced. Because if you say that, pay Jeff Hamilton, whom do you even serve it to? And even if you serve it to that someone, this guy even need a job.
Yeah.
So it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
So at that time we started talking to people, mostly our friends. So we talked to a number of our friends. There's one of my brother-in-law who is based in the US. We talked to him. We have our original head of operations who is now in Qatar. We talked to him. I have a friend of mine who is in telco. He runs a business. We talked to him. And they brought in money. So they brought in, I think we raised at that point around 10 million from different shareholders. Yeah.
Okay, and you gave them then equity.
Yes, they've kept the shareholding to date. Okay. So they are part of our shareholders in Kenya. And then now for the subsidiaries, whenever we move to different markets, increasingly because now we've become more polished, at the point of setting up, we invite, we find out who we can work with in that market and do a budget and request them to deposit their contribution of equity into the bank. So in most cases, we use that money to run the business. Okay. We keep the CEOs on Kenyan payroll, but that money then deals with everything else in that market. Right. So now we become very polished. So like in the different markets now, there's no market we are starting without a local partner. So all markets now we have local partners. Okay. And in Kenya also we have shareholders.
And the Kenyan company is the parent company and is the one that's holding equity in all these other different partners.
No.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, yes. But now we formed Jeff Hamilton Holdings.
Okay.
So now Jeff Hamilton Holdings has taken up a family stake in each business, including Kenya.
Okay.
So now the Kenyan shareholder has remained a Kenyan shareholder. So some of them chose, because originally when Kenya owned everything, they also had stake in the others. So now some of them said, compensate me my stake in Kenya. But some took shareholding in the other subsidiaries. But now our ownership is through Jeff Hamilton Holdings.
Okay. By the time you're compensating these people, for the people who are leaving out, what's the largest compensation you gave to someone who had invested in you initially?
I think there's a person who invested. There's a person, because there's one who left. There are a few shareholders who normally request from time to time. So like currently we are in the middle of one. This gentleman invested 3M and we are paying him around 5.5.
Okay.
So it's almost 100%.
Almost 100% return.
Yeah. Then there's one who invested in Uganda, $1 million, and we are paying her 1.6. Yes.
Okay.
So the returns are not that bad.
Right.
It's not crazy, but it's okay.
Okay. I mean, now you've built Truly, not
Yes.
just online.
Yes. No, we are true now.
Truly a multinational,
Yes.
multinational company. I know that, from the bio, I know that you have 3 children, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Is there any thinking around legacy and what this company could do for your family moving forward? And what are your thoughts around that? I should have asked Linda that question as well, but I didn't. Yeah.
So I did a program at Strathmore called Honor Manager Program. So the object of the program is basically to help, especially indigenous owners, to professionalize the business and pass it to the next generation. So I did that in 2019 before COVID, and since then I've been very very clear on succession and legacy.
Okay.
So today I'm the CEO for the business. So I'm in charge of business. I'm in charge of what you call business. So business is operations and sales. Then my wife is the deputy CEO. She's in charge of business support. So everything outside operations and sales, she's in charge of. But my son, Jeff.
The one who got
Jeff,
you here.
yes. So Jeff is the global head of governance and regulatory affairs. Basically, he's the one who helps me to just ensure that these businesses are run in compliance with the law. So he's the one driving international expansion. He's the one driving board management. He's the one driving shareholder relations. He's the one driving company secretarial, statutories, and all those important things that keep the business running.
At 24, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Jeff is actually 22.
Oh, he's 22.
He's 22.
Yeah.
And he's the incoming CEO.
Yeah.
Then we have Jerry. You must be confusing Jerry. So Jerry is the MD Rwanda.
Ah, okay. Yes.
So there's Jerry Boke. So Jerry is older to Jeff. So Jerry is the one now running Rwanda. Very good. Turned the market around. When he went there, we had a lot of challenges there. And they stabilized it and is doing very well. Has a very good eye on growth and key stakeholder engagements. Then have another son called Brian, who is also in the business. Brian is in the HR department. He's just getting his footing. He's older than all of them.
Yeah.
But he came into the business a little bit later. I think he struggled coming into the business.
Yeah.
So in terms of succession, we've already talked about the succession as a family. We are very clear that Jeff is taking over the business. I should be transiting to chairman. I'm now 53. When I turn 55, I'm transiting to chairman. So it means we are preparing Jeff to take over in the next 2 years. He's the oldest staff outside my wife because he joined the business, I think, when he was in class 6. He's the oldest.
Okay.
Not by age, but
time,
number of
10
experience,
years,
and even in terms of just understanding the business.
Yeah.
By the way, between you and me,
Yeah.
Jeff will run the business better than I can do. He's already
guaranteed.
I am guaranteed he's already doing that. So I have remained the face, but in the back office,
He's running things.
Jeff is the CEO.
At 22.
At 22, everything that happens at Jeff Hamilton.
How much? What was your turnover? Maybe not last year, the year before.
No, I have turnover for last year.
Yeah.
So last year is 2025. We missed $1 billion by 12 million. So we returned 987.
So essentially, he's running a 900 million shilling company.
Yes. And this year, we are projecting to do 1.3. So he's run, but it's about the period he has been in the business. I think he's been in this business longest.
Yeah.
And even as he was studying at Strathmore, because he's graduating this year.
That's crazy.
But but as he's studying, he's been doing the evening classes.
Yeah.
So during the day. Actually, sometimes I even asking, "Are you sure you are studying?" Because he's permanently at work.
Yeah.
So and he's really helped us. Like now, the labor export thing, he's the one driving it. We are doing a lot of automation. We are moving. Their generation are very good on systems. So he's completely done a lot of work in terms of automation, simplifying systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So he's a major tool.
Okay, a couple of things. What did you pick up? What are maybe one or two things you can tell us about what you picked up from the Strathmore program about succession, family companies and succession that you can share? And the second thing is, now as a parent, how do you decide which child takes over? And this I'm even referencing the I don't know if you've watched the Netflix documentary about the Murdoch Empire, and essentially it was huge business that's
No,
been
no.
built.
I've watched Ambani's, the Indian
okay.
Ambanis. I need to watch Netflix. You need to watch the Ambani's.
Yeah, I'll watch. I'll watch.
You need to watch
You watch this one.
Yeah, I'll watch Netflix.
Anyway, but I'm curious about how you ended up deciding
who takes.
Yeah, and how everybody in terms of your sons got comfortable, especially with him being
the last born.
Yes.
So in the beginning, as a father, we wish all our children well.
Of course.
I think that is the starting point. And we love our children. But then, so the policy we have at the Boke is that every family member has an original right to employment. So there's no, especially for our sons, there's no day they can say they want a job and you say there's no job.
Yeah.
No.
There's a job for
that there will be, even if it's not, they will create. Mm-hmm. So that is the first right. They have a right to employment. But when you come to the job and you do a bad job, we'll fire you. So we fired on occasion.
Yeah.
So like Brian, I think he's been fired 3 times. Jerry has been fired, I think, once or twice. Jeff has never been fired.
Yeah.
But when you are fired, you go and relax for a week or 2. You still have another right to again come and say, now, Dad, I'm sorry. Yeah. I am back. Yeah. And I have no powers to say no.
Yeah.
We will give you the job again. Yeah. We could give you a different job. But as you work with them, you see the way they perform, because they're on KPIs like everyone else. And you see who is delivering, who is good with key customer relations, who has passion for this thing. Because again, you understand that they also have a right to do something else. Because it's not a must that they must work for the business. So then you start picking what they are great at. So I think the people I've worked with most is Jerry and Jeff. So I'll focus on Jerry and Jeff. So Jerry, we pick that is amazing with growth, key customer relationship, growing the business out there, and interacting with those type of people, engaging RRA, Rwanda Revenue Authority, the Rwanda Development Board, and stuff like that. But that is not very great with processes. Now Jeff, on the other side, is very good with processes, ensuring that things that are started are finished, holding people to account, ensuring that procedures are followed, and that the whole thing is working, and that you are delegating to people and holding them accountable. And you see, that is the job of the CEO. So then that is what advises that I think we need Jeff to take over as CEO. But it does not diminish the rest. Because the rest also, you are telling them, we want Jerry in the end to oversee growth for the group. For now, he's doing Rwanda. But he can also still do Rwanda, but still oversee growth for the group. They are not mutually exclusive. Now, once that is done, so that conversation is a conversation we have as the Bokes. Then, now we settle. Then you have to communicate as the founder that now, this is my successor. This is the guy I want to succeed. And these are my reasons. And you must let the other people see your point. They are free to challenge, and then you address their concerns. Then we agree that this is the person. Then now we all work together towards pulling and supporting this guy. Because we are richer together. So first thing is, this gentleman has the longest experience, and he has the skills that we are looking for this job.
For that role.
But you have the skills for this different role. So do that role. Then affirm him. You must continuously communicate that and give the person tasks, so that even because I have very key leaders, I have MDs in different markets, I have very senior, most of them much older.
Yes.
And you see they have to submit. So you as the founder, you must communicate your vision. And my vision is, this is the way we are going. And if you find someone is not aligned to the vision, you manage them out. Yeah, so it's not like, again, you are begging. No, it's not like you are begging. Yeah. This is the succession route we are taking. Yeah. So you either align, or if you have a problem, then
there's many places you can find employment.
Yeah,
okay. Last thing I wanted to ask you, which maybe I should have asked a bit earlier, how have you guys? What's been your primary strategy in terms of acquiring clients? How when you talk about pitching, I know you've given us the scenarios where sort of different business opportunities fell into your lap, so to speak, or opportunity was there because you were ready. But when now you need to be more intentional about pitching and getting clients, what is the thing that has allowed you to stand out and be able to get the clients that you've gotten?
So I think that strategy has changed over time. So in the beginning, we believed in this thing of having a business development department. And we hired a lot of business development guys who came very polished, very highly recommended. They spoke a lot of strategy. And down the road, the delivery was almost zero. that was our experience. So we made a deliberate decision that our strategy on growth will be a service-driven strategy. So we believe that if you gave us a job, we will do it very well. And you will recommend us, or someone will see what we are doing, and then that someone will give us the job. So referrals. So retention. So we strive to a 90% retention. Because there's no need of selling if you are losing.
Yes.
So one of the things that we measure is retention. Are we losing clients? And if we lose clients for something stupid in the boardroom, we manage that manager out. If it's something beyond them, then we have no problem. But we don't have conversations that you are supposed to deliver this to the client and then you didn't deliver. Then we are now trying to understand you. No, we don't have that room. So that has ensured that we are not losing clients quickly. Then now we get referrals from this one, because once the client is happy, the client is your biggest recommender. And I think we get 90% of our business through that. But now over time, we have also started doing deliberate marketing. So what we do is that everyone in Jeff Hamilton is a salesperson. So we don't have a sales department. So I told you I'm the head of growth and operations.
Yes.
So I am the sales manager. And everyone sells. So on Thursday, we have what we call a sales day. So you choose a road. So like last week, I was on Namanga Road from Kisaju all the way to Kajiado. So on that day, everyone, you say where you are. You walk in, you say, I am Barack. I work with Jeff Hamilton. We do 1, 2, 3, 4. In future, if you need a service like this, please consider us. Help us with your email, we'll share with you our profile. So that is all we do. And then also we are increasingly very active on social media. But on social media, it's not so much selling. It's just branding and just putting our name outside there. But bottom line, service delivery is our biggest. And then for clients who are key, for that might sound bad, but for certain clients, we also sponsor their events. So let's say that one of our key clients has something, then we ordinarily will support and do some little form of. But we rarely get sales from that. It's just to give back and say thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, thank you so much for coming to Financially Incorrect. I have understood immensely more than I did about the security space in Kenya. And because even we have ended up on a sales note, this is your camera. This is for your social media picture, your social media sales. Please plug in Jeff Hamilton. Tell them where they can find you, what services they can find you on, and then we can wrap this up.
Thank you very much, Barack.
Yeah.
So we are Jeff Hamilton. I'm Major Boke. I work at Jeff Hamilton as the CEO. We do 3 things: staff outsourcing, security services, HR services. So we are your plug if you are looking for that. You can find us on jeffhamilton.global on the website. And also we are very strong on the socials. Yeah. So if you go to that website, you'll find all our contacts in East Africa. And I also want to thank all those who have stood with us, those who have supported us to build this powerful Jeff Hamilton story. Asanteni sana.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. This has been an incredible story. It's been a 2-hour. It's been, I think the last sort of 2-hour thing I did was Esther Waititu. That was like 1 hour 59. This is a 2-hour, but definitely worth it. I hope you've gone into the end. You know J. Cole's Forest Hill Drive album. At the end of it, he talks about if you've gone into this point, you're the real G, because he starts reading out credits. Anyway, if you've gone into this point, you're a real Financially Incorrect supporter. Thank you very much for rocking with us. We will see you next Friday on the next episode of Financially Incorrect.